7 years ago, I decided to buy a game called Borderlands, a game I knew very little about other than the absurd amount of guns it claimed to have. It turned out to be one of the best spontaneous decisions I made, and I quickly fell in love with the Borderlands series. Its quirky comedy was so different to other games I played, and the looting and chaotic combat hooked me. 7 years later, and Gearbox are actively working on Borderlands 3, the next instalment in the series. With that in mind, I thought I'd create a wishlist for Borderlands 3 and go through some features I hope to see. As usual, we will be including a viewer suggestion at the end, so hang around to see what it is. Without further delay, here is my wishlist for Borderlands 3. The first thing I'd like to see in Borderlands 3 is a new setting on a different planet. The first two main series Borderlands games took place on the wacky planet of Pandora, where bandits cause mayhem and deadly wildlife runs wild. As great as this location was, I'd love to see more of the Borderlands universe, preferably in the form of a new planet. Having the chance to explore new environments, battle new enemies, and loot new weapons would be amazing, and most importantly, it would stop the game from feeling too familiar. In a universe as outrageous and interesting as Borderlands, it would be a shame not to see more of it. I think I'm not the only one that likes kitting their characters out with cool armour and clothes. Up until now, the Borderlands games have been fairly limiting with the amount of customisation you can do. In Borderlands 2, you could change your headgear and body costumes along with their colour, but that was about it. In Borderlands 3, I'd like the characters to be slightly more customisable. It would be great to be able to mix and match different pieces of armour and clothing individually, similar to something you'd see in the Fallout games. It's been something that fans of the series, including me and Dan, have been dying to see in a Borderlands game, so fingers crossed it makes an appearance in Borderlands 3. One of the things that made the story in Borderlands 2 so good was the fantastic villain, Handsome Jack. As hilarious as he was menacing, Handsome Jack was the perfect villain for Borderlands 2, and he really complemented the comedic and twisted world of Borderlands. Taunting you every step of the way, Handsome Jack motivated me to level up my character, work through the campaign, and take sweet vengeance. In Borderlands 3, I'd like to see another brilliant villain. Though it will be very difficult to follow in the footsteps of Handsome Jack, a strong villain makes grinding through all the chaos all the more enjoyable. In Borderlands 3, I think it would be a good move to introduce individual loot drops in the multiplayer, or a way of sharing loot fairly. When playing online, weapon chests only contain one set of weapons, meaning that players need to try to share between them. This isn't so much of a problem when you're playing with friends, but when you're playing with random people online and they just grab the good gear straight away, it's a bit more of a problem. Instead, if everyone had a chance to get a gun from a chest, it would be a fair way to avoid loot thieves. Destiny is a game that uses this system, and it means that every player's loot is individual as opposed to communal, and it's a much more fair way of dealing with loot. Having seen other Borderlands 3 wishlists out there, many players want weapon creation or personalisation. Whilst this would no doubt be a fun feature, I'm not sure it's right for Borderlands. The randomly generated weapons are part of what makes Borderlands looting so addictive, and it means you constantly change the weapons you use, and it adds purpose to the looting and grinding. If you could upgrade and personalise your weapons, there would be no reason to actually loot new guns. Instead, I'd like Gearbox to simply add more variation to the procedurally generated weapons, whether it's new weapon manufacturers, new types of weapons, or more unique weapon parts in the algorithm. I'd love to see a tiny bit more variation in the guns I'm looting. We love to hear what the community want in their games, so we include a viewer suggestion in every episode of Digital Desires. This video suggestion comes from Mr Meerkat, who proposed that the bosses should be more spread out throughout the game, and I couldn't agree more. As Mr Meerkat pointed out, the pre-sequel had a huge inconsistency in its bosses and the points in which you battle them. Having strong, memorable bosses spread evenly throughout the game is essential, and I hope this is the case in Borderlands 3. Please be sure to check out Mr Meerkat's channel. He plays through fantastic games, produces fantastic content, and his narration is brilliant. You can find his channel link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe to our channel. In the next episode of Digital Desires, Dan and I will be discussing the things we would like to see in Fallout 5, the unconfirmed sequel to Fallout 4. Let us know what you would like to see in Fallout 5 for a chance to receive a shout out. Thank you very much for watching.